Gentlemen, and welcome back to SF Live. I'm Myrna Lim, your host. Tonight we have a very special guest, a budding filmmaker, an artist. Her life story is quite an interesting story in itself, but at a young age, I don't know, I couldn't tell how young she is, but at a very young age, she has already been producing, writing, plays, films, and won numerous awards, and she could tell you all about them. Tonight we will be showing one of her film clips that she will be releasing soon as a short feature. Her name is Julie Kerr. Hi Julie, welcome.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Great. So tell us a little bit about your life story. I was reading about your biography, and you have quite an interesting life story here. So your family moved from Costa Rica when you were 3 years old, right?
Yes, they did. Yeah.
Okay.
They are. Yeah, my father happens to be a minister, and they went to Costa Rica to help build churches and learn Spanish and to be missionaries. Yeah.
Great. And let me see now. You moved back to Virginia, right? And in high school, you won the top 10 of the Drexel University High School Screenplay Contest with a script from Prom Night.
Yeah.
Is that one of those slasher movies? Like, no. Okay, all right. Tell us about that script.
I do think Prom Night might be the title of a slasher film, but I guess I borrowed it. Prom Night was actually it's a short script about a group of sort of misfits, so like nerds and punks and people who don't fit in high school, and instead of going to prom, they decide to throw a big party and go to the party instead. So.
Oh, okay. Well, your latest, the title is Geek Loves Punk.
Right.
What is it? It's an interesting clip you've got, but...
Right.
Do you think you're a geek? Is that what it is? Who is the geek here? What right about geeks? Were you one of those kids in high school?
Writing about geeks, yeah, I guess, it depended. I guess if I went to one party, I'd be the coolest person in the room. If I went to another party, I'd be the geekiest person in the room, so it just depends. Right. But, yeah, I guess a part of me does identify a little bit as a geek, because I like reading comic books, and I don't have any tattoos, I don't know.
You like comic books, huh?
Yeah.
What kind of comic books?
I like everything, but I really like anything with the X-Men in it, and I also like a comic book called Strangers in Paradise, which is really amazing. There's another one called Love and Rockets that's really great. So these are kind of, you have the superhero comics, and then you have the more indie comics, and I love them all, actually. So
right. So how do you begin to write a screenplay? What goes through what's your process like?
Part of it is that you just have all these scenes that just for some reason they'll stick out in my head.
Yeah.
And they don't really leave me, or certain characters that seem to want to be heard. And so that's part of it. And then the other part of it with Geek was it was a broken heart, and I was a little like bitter, and I just needed I needed a way to get over it. So I started writing. So I needed a way. So that's where I started writing, because I just needed kind of catharsis, an outlet. Yeah, exactly. So that's part of it. Part of it is sort of exploiting all the bad things, all the hard things you go through, and just putting it into a movie and making it funny, because I like to do comedy.
Well, you're not like Taylor Swift, right? The country singer who writes about all the boyfriends and exes and stuff that she...
Yeah, Taylor Swift does do that, but I try not to get too obvious about it. So, yeah, it's definitely a work of fiction. So I don't go. I think Taylor even I think she even names the people she's singing about. So, so I don't try to get that, like, explicit or anything like that, so.
So, in your, how many kids in your family? Just you?
I have 2 sisters.
Are they artistic like you as well?
They are. They're both very artistic. My older sister, she went to school for interior design, so she's really great at pretty much just arts and crafts type stuff. And then right now she's a teacher, so she's teaching art. And yeah, my little sister used to paint and do all kinds of stuff like that.
Okay, we're gonna see this show of yours called Geek Loves Punk.
Cool.
So how did you go about? Would you like to introduce it? How did you come up with this?
Sure. I want to just talk about how romance can be hard for anybody.
Yeah.
So what I have in the short and what the clip you're about to see is, like, it's actually there's 2 best friends. There's one is a lesbian tomboy and one's a heterosexual woman who's very girly, and she's kind of talking about her perspective on men. Is the clip that we're about to see. Her and her boyfriend is just broken up, and she's a little. Part is I just don't really know how to talk to them,
and that's the day I was fed up. It's my turn. You talked long enough.
Very well.
Yes, Elizabeth's my best friend. I wouldn't have it any other way. She thinks we have nothing in common, even though we have everything in common, except I like to wear dresses and she doesn't. By the way, never ever get into a relationship. It was one day as a young teenager when I was reading Jane Austen that I realized I was cursed. My curse? I loved men. The worst part about it is that they're everywhere. You can't get rid of them. They're gross. They're hairy. Hairy armpits, hairy nostrils, hairy backs, and hairy butts. And they stink. They really do. So my opinion is somewhat skewed due to recent events. It's just that, well, okay, I admit it. Sometimes they look amazing. And they smell amazing. And yeah, sometimes I'll meet a man. Sometimes more often than not, who's fantastic. Wait for it, maybe even beautiful.
Hi, Emma.
Hi, Soul.
I heard you and the douchebag broke up.
We were dating and we stopped.
Well, just so you know, there's nothing but comic books and fried chicken up in here.
What?
It's all I ever think about, nothing else.
Right.
You'd be one lucky woman.
I know I would, Soul.
We'd hang out, we'd laugh, we'd eat fried chicken. I'd even let you stand under my umbrella, Ella, Ella, when it rains, like the song.
That song's a metaphor.
I know. That's what I mean.
We do that stuff already, Soul.
Yeah, but if we dated, I'd never think about what I'd never think about unless you told me it was okay to think about them.
That's sweet, Soul.
It's something to think about.
That's funny, though. So, who are the actors?
Oh, the actor, the male is Orlando Mendoza. He's a local San Francisco actor who's
really?
very talented. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and the woman is Celeste Martinez, and she's also a very talented actor, and she's down in Los Angeles, actually, doing the acting thing, so.
Wow. So you have, it's a filmmaking group called Scary Cow Productions?
Yeah, Scary Cow Productions, it's pretty much a filmmaking co-op, so it's a production company where anyone who wants to be involved can be, and it's just people, it's about 200 people, and everybody comes together and just helps each other out. We all help each other make our films. So if people need to borrow equipment, if people need two helping hands, then we're here to help each other out. Yeah.
So this clip is 9 minutes. So you're
Yes.
going to do a feature for how long?
You know, yeah, I'm in post-production for the feature, and right now it's an hour and 43 minutes long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I didn't realize it was going to be so long, but it's great. So it's in post-production, so
Uh-huh.
we have an Emmy Award-winning composer working on the music for it.
Okay.
And then, I just got to do sound. I got to do sound design
Yeah.
and something called color correction. And
Okay.
But yeah, it's in post, and it'll be... I'll have a finished product early 2011.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you going to keep it an hour and a half? That long?
Yeah, I mean, we might need to cut it down, but for now, that's how long it is. And I'm going to show a couple of my friends whose opinions I really respect and ask them their opinion, like how, ask their opinion on the edit and if there's any changes I should make and that kind of thing. So I've seen it so many times right now.
Well, the biggest challenge for a lot of filmmakers is coming up with the funds to
Right.
to produce.
Right.
How are you going about that?
Right. That's actually where Scary Cow Productions helped me out so much, because what I got lucky was I suckered or asked people if I could use...
Ask and they're impressed with your talent, I'm sure.
I worked really hard on the script and made sure the material was as good as possible.
Yeah.
And then people just came out of the woodworks and helped me out. Like my buddy, he let me borrow his camera. He let me borrow his lights. He's co-producer.
Wow.
The actors, they liked the material, so they volunteered to be in the film. My crew volunteer as well. And filmmaking can get expensive, but if you have a good group of people around you,
right.
It helps. Takes a village to make a film.
Exactly. Well, tell me, most artists have a hard time trying to focus on their art,
Right.
while trying to earn a living, because you
Right.
usually have a day job and
Right.
trying to produce at the same time.
Right.
And that in itself is quite a feat. So you have a day job. Tell us about it, because I mean, this is quite awesome. This is really fascinating. No, I think that it just goes to show, that for a lot of people, if you have a dream, you have to pursue the dream, and no matter what. So,
Right.
anyway, so you work at...
I am currently I'm a caregiver for the elderly. That's what I do.
Awesome,
Yes.
awesome.
Yes. And I it's very rewarding, and I really enjoy it. So.
Well, do you think you'll be making films? This is obviously a romantic comedy type.
Right.
Would you branch out into doing, drama or
Right.
other type of...
Yeah, I'd love to sort of stretch my creative muscles, and I have all kinds of movie ideas. I know that, I have like a zombie idea, and I'd love to do all kinds of stuff, and there are some dramatic moments in this film that was
Right.
it was great to direct some dramatic stuff. So yeah, I'd love to do it. I'd love to direct it all.
Oh, yeah. Well, how old are the people you're taking care of?
One woman I'm working with, she is 94.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she's in, as she tells me, she's in great shape. She's 94 years young, is what she says.
Oh,
so.
my God. I mean, they could be pretty funny,
Oh, yeah. She's really funny. She's just great to be around.
Yeah. Because they don't care.
I know, they don't know.
They don't care about anything.
No, she's 94. She'll say whatever she wants, and yeah, she's great. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard, though. Very...
It is. It's hard work, and it can be intense work, but,
Yeah. I have a lot of respect for, people who are taking care of the elderly, especially... with this generation, the baby boomers, people are living a lot longer. My mom is in a nursing home, and some of them can be quite funny, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a village of all these characters. You can actually get a lot of ideas.
Right. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Oh, definitely
If
a
you
lot
get
of
to know
ideas.
them and talk to them. And
Yeah, and a lot of great life advice, and it's and characters, absolutely. So much material.
And each one of them has a story to tell.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they were alive when like Franklin D. Roosevelt was president. You know, it's just kind of amazing to hear the stories. And one guy, he fought in World War II, so to hear his stories, it's cool. I enjoy it.
Well, how do you balance that then? How do you balance?
You know, like it's funny. You do
or
kind
you just
of
rely on inspiration.
You know, you do have to be very driven. You do have to. I mean, you do have to sacrifice a little bit of a social life, and sometimes I make myself go out but making a film, it is a lot of work. So first you work 40 hours, and then you come home and you're pretty tired, but you got to kind of make yourself sit down at the computer and write your script, or
right.
You know, you just sort of have to. I mean, it does mean you're working. It just means you're it's a lot of work, you know, and you just got to stay focused and driven if it's something that you really want to do and you really believe in. So
right.
Yeah.
Who would be, if you think in terms of role models, you know, for filmmaking, who would it be for you?
Oh gosh, so many.
Do you want to be like the junior female Steven Spielberg?
Sure. Sure, that sounds great. Yeah, I really like. I don't know if I'm gonna say his name right, but Jason Reitman. He makes he made Juno. I like the movie. He made Up in the Air. I like the movies he makes. But then, since you mentioned Spielberg, I love Jaws. I love E.T. I love the stuff he's done. So
how about Saturday Night Live? Do you watch?
I did watch Saturday Night Live. Yeah, I do think it's funny. Oh, Tina Fey. I love Tina Fey.
I just saw her the other night.
Oh, yeah.
I love
really?
her impersonation of Sarah Palin.
Oh, right. Yeah, so she's done a lot of writing. And
she makes me like Sarah Palin, actually.
Yeah, she does. She does a likable Sarah Palin. That's true. So yeah, I love Tina Fey. She's actually quite inspiring too, because I know she's a writer. She writes a lot for her show as well as acting, and
right.
So yeah, Nora Ephron or Nancy Meyers. So just any of the filmmakers.
Yeah, do you do stand-up comic too?
No, I've never done stand-up comedy before, but I that's
with the kind of material you have, it would seem as
right,
though those
right.
are good materials for
yeah.
comedy.
I guess I'd be open to it. It seems a little terrifying because you got the open crowd,
right.
But also I really, you know, I've been to stand-up comedy routine, you know, shows before, and it's fun to watch, and I really admire people who do that because.
Okay, how did your heart get broken? What did that trigger this thing? Now, my friend Richie Bondoc did not break your heart, right? You met him in the library, right?
Right. No, the mutual friend who introduced us. No, he did not break my heart. He's really sweet. No, just you know.
Because in my age, okay, you were laughing about. With our age, we're bitter and angry and confused.
Oh, no.
We're a little bit different. No, I'm just joking. You know, but
No, trust me. I definitely had my times of being pretty bitter and angry and confused.
Yeah,
Yes.
Right.
No. Me and my ex, we were dating for 4 months, and it just a bridged version. It just didn't work out, and basically, I think what
So you started writing about him.
Yeah. But what happened was we broke up, and you know what you'll see in the film is that that, you know, we just kept trying to be something for each other that we couldn't be. You know, I kept trying to be better, and it didn't work out. So that thematic stuff I tried to get into the film. So, but yeah. But I mean, I guess long story short, it just didn't work out. Yeah. I'm not
Well,
getting
how
too
about the
explicit.
whole dating game? I mean, the whole dating scene. I would imagine that there's a lot of stories to tell.
Oh, there's tons. I mean, that's why it's like, I mean, I was after the film, you know, after the film's been done, I'm kind of ready to get out there and start dating again. And I know there's so much, this is the artist thinking, but there's so much material to draw from when you're dating. So, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
but do you draw from
personal experience?
Yeah.
I mean, if I have to draw my personal experience with dating, I'll be like Sybil, you know. No, but I have this cousin who's got this gorgeous daughter, and my cousin would just tell her, where did you get this guy from? Did you do dumpster diving? Is that where you find these people? I was, you know how mothers are. We're perfectionists, I think, you know.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But then even like I mean, there's a lot of films like Jennifer Aniston. They make a lot of films and comedies regarding dating, and especially with this generation. I would think it's tough.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think it is tough. I mean, people. I don't know. I guess I thought dating was tough for a lot of people, but maybe it is like this generation, and I don't know. I think there's a balance between some people being really jaded or being really, being really cynical or crass. Or I think the approach to dating isn't always happy-go-lucky. I was just talking to my friend who had recently gone through a breakup, and she's saying, "Oh, I'm never gonna date again," and I'm like, "You gotta do it eventually."
Well, yeah, you don't know. Yeah, right. Anyway, my goodness. I mean, 22 minutes is kind of short once you get going and start talking about very interesting stuff.
Right.
But, yeah.
Has it been 22 minutes?
Well, we have like almost 30 seconds left.
Oh,
so
wow. Okay, great.
We're going to have to say goodbye soon. But anyway, thank you, Julie, and congratulations on a job well done, and keep on doing it, and
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Impressive young lady, and you can be a role model for a lot of people.
Thank you. Yeah, great.
I would like to see you like your big name in a marquee one of these days soon. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching us and for joining us. Good night.